Today we're coming to you from the American Senior TV studios. We'll be talking about why you don't want to be caught dead with only a will. I'm Kerry Glusovich, and we'll be back after these words. Welcome back to American Senior TV. I'm Kerry Glusovich. Well, we'd like to welcome Bradley B. Anderson, practicing primarily in estate planning. Welcome, Bradley.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Appreciate you coming by. I guess the first thing to discuss is why don't we want to be caught dead with only a will?
Well, let me be clear on a couple of issues. First of all, some people will choose a will, and a will is probably better than choosing nothing at all, because at least you've been able to name those people who will be managing the affairs of your estate and who will be receiving the estate. But most people that we talk to also want to avoid probate, and wills are intended to go through probate. So probate's a very lengthy, expensive legal process that has to be done through the courts. And there are ways to avoid having to do that and still come out with the results that you wanted when you thought about setting up a will.
So even though I at least think I've spelled everything out in my will, that's not sufficient.
It's not sufficient if you want to save your estate. The expenses, the time that it takes, and the unnecessary problems that are associated with taking the estate through the probate process.
Okay. And the fact is, if I don't have much money or I don't feel I have much of an estate, will I still need a will and a probate?
Not having much of an estate is always relative. I've had people with $10 million estates tell me they don't have much of an estate. So I always like to meet with people and kind of help them go through what they own, and many times they're surprised to find that they have as large an estate, as nice an estate as they do.
Brad, what about the costs attendant to all of this?
Well, that's a very good question, because in our experience, obviously not every living trust is the same as every other living trust, and the same is true for wills. Not every will is the same as every other will, and a lot depends upon the quality of the advisor that you're choosing. There are advisors who are available for even the mere mortals that do outstanding work. We pride ourselves in being there. And so obviously you're going to pay more for the type of quality that you want, and where that ends up, of course, showing up is what happens in the event of death or disability, and how much the family has to go through, both from a financial expense as well as from an emotional expense, and time, the amount of time that it's going to take even to administer a trust estate.
Would like to thank Bradley Anderson today for joining us discussing why you don't want to be caught dead with only a will. And we'll be doing a series of shows coming up on the importance of a living trust. Again, thanks, Brad Anderson, for joining the show.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
I'm Kerry Glusovich for American Senior TV. We'll see you next time.